And then there's something inside here that is also super important because black is much easier to see through than white or green. Hello, welcome to WayPoint Survival. Today, I want to talk to you about what's in Horace Kephart's spare clothes kit. Stay tuned. Anytime we try to copy or emulate someone from an earlier era, especially someone who is as well versed in the outdoors and who carried so many various types of gear in the backcountry as Horace Kephart did, we always run into a lot of issues. For instance, he wrote hundreds of articles, several books, and is well known for all kinds of kits, from individual kits, summer, fall, spring, the sort of a warmer weather kit, all the way into winter type camping. And so you'll find just a plethora of all kinds of information, and we're glad that he gave that to us because it's a real window and an insight into what he carried and what he liked and what he recommended. However, to some extent, it also makes it more difficult because it's kind of hard to nail down exactly what he would have carried. Now, based on research and what I've read and what I can get a hold of as far as the information that's available, and again, there's a lot of it out there, I've put together his spare clothes kit for a warmer weather scenario. So in other words, like we are right now, last part of summer on into fall, not quite into early winter, but when your temps get down in maybe the 40s or 50s at night, Fahrenheit, so not super cold, but something that you would need to put together as a spare clothes kit in case it rained. And how would you deal with that when you're out for a short trip, maybe several days, up to a week even, depending on how often you were able to wash and clean your clothes. So without further ado, let's get into this roll. Let's show you what's in the kit so you can pack accordingly. Also, you're going to want to make sure and stay tuned until the end of the video for an extra Kephart wet weather tip. The first thing that I want to show you is how this is actually attached. So this is the bedroll with the spare clothes kit inside of it. We just have a couple of straps, and these are Civil War knapsack straps, so you can find these many places. And I just put them on to these loops here, where the buckles come over and the straps to hold the top of the pack down. So that's where the first one goes. It's just compressing that in. And then we have another one here at the top, and all it does is it goes around these leather straps here. So when you put that on like that, it gives you a little extra compression around the top. It's very simple, and it doesn't slide up and down. It's quite secure, and you don't want a lot of weight, and you want something that's easy to use. These have buckles on them, so easy to undo and to take off. And just like that, we're ready to go. The bedroll itself is tied together with these leather thongs, just using a simple tie affair, a bow, like you would for your shoes. And the way that this roll is made, there are a couple of grommets. There's one here and one here, and it's just tied on there. We go around the pack and lash them closed. Now, you saw this in a previous video, so I'm not going to belabor this point, but it tucks inside of this roll, just like this. It's a little bit fiddly to get out, but once you get it out, you're good to go. And then this is your bedroll. This area here is where you would carry your extra gear. And now I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Tecovas Boots. As many of you know, I'm a big fan of the long haul waterproof mock toe composite work boots. These boots have excellent quality, give serious comfort, and offer rugged protection for your feet. They're fully waterproof with a durable Goodyear welt, and they meet ASTM standards for safety toe, slip resistance, and even have electrical hazard protection if you should need it. That's a good feeling too, especially when you're working outdoors with power tools or in wet environments. Whether I'm cutting firewood for the winter, working on a deck, or just taking a walk through the backcountry, these boots get the job done. They're easy to put on and take off, and I especially like the muck-off tread design. It shrugs off mud and dirt with every step, which is great when you're in the backcountry. Now, while these boots look amazing right out of the box, they're built to be used and used hard. So, when it's time to bring them back to their former glory, grab the Tecovas Leather Care Kit. It's got everything you need to maintain that premium leather and keep your boots looking good for the long haul. Just a little cleaning, then reapply the leather treatment, and you're back in business. And, while you're at it, check out Tecovas' new cologne, Waterloo. Named after Austin's original name, this scent is a bold blend that reminds you of citrus, sagebrush, Palo Santo, and sandalwood. It smells like a summer evening you want to remember forever. It's masculine, outdoorsy, and let's be honest, it's a big hit with the ladies too. As Tecova says, Waterloo isn't just a fragrance, it's a mood, a moment, a memory made in the wild heart of Texas. So if you're looking for a handsome and durable pair of boots for your next adventure, make sure and click the link in the description box below, or you can scan the QR code that's been showing on the screen to get your new great pair of Tecovas boots. And once again, a big thanks to Tecovas for sponsoring this video. Also, when you do click the link in the description box or scan the QR code, make sure and use the code WayPoint10 to get 10% off your first purchase. This is what it looks like when it's all rolled out. It has these flaps. And this is a waxed canvas, and it's got a little foot pocket here for your feet, so you can tuck those in and keep those warm. It does have a wool blanket inside, and then there's a wool liner here. You can also use, if you look here at the end, you can stuff it sewed at the bottom. It's got a little bit of a rip here, but it is open here at the top all the way across, and you could either stick a rubber air mattress or you could stuff browse inside of here to give you a bit of a cushion. So this is very, very convenient. It's really well thought out, and this is a World War I British bedroll type affair. Inside the top part here, which also doubles as a pillow, so you have this rolled out and you keep your extra clothes in here, so it makes a nice thick thing to put your head on. Again, if you're using a lot of your clothes, you're wearing them because it's cold, you could stuff this with browse, dry leaves, dried grass, things like that, to make your pillow. But Kephart said that you should carry your extra clothes in its own bag. So here we have just an old sack. It's a feed sack, extra heavy duty. You can see that right there. And this is what we have the extra clothes in. Now, we do have some extra items stuffed in here as well. One of the things he recommended carrying was an extra pair of suspenders or a belt, depending on what you might need, because if you're counting on your suspenders or your belt and they break on you, it's always good to have a spare. Next, tucked into here where we can easily get to it, have a pair of thin leather gloves. And these could be of deer skin, pig skin, anything that you want. Just thin, unlined gloves for warmer weather. And we will be doing a cold weather kit, the Lord willing. We're going to plan to add to this and show you what he would carry in cold weather. But definitely a pair of gloves. This protects your hands. Chopping, sawing, working with the knife, reaching in and grabbing browse. You might grab a hold of a centipede or a spider or something like that. Whereas if you've got good gloves on, protects your hands from getting stung and getting scratched and beat up. He also recommended carrying a pair of light moccasins. And this is a pair that I made, and they're just simple handmade moccasins. And what these are for is for walking around camp. After a long day of hiking and going across rough country in your boots, they're going to be sweated, they're going to be damp, and be able to put on something that's soft to wear around camp is just super useful, as well as something to slip on in the middle of the night if you need to get up and use a restroom. Remember that a lot of the boots back in the day, they didn't always lace up well. If you had the tall boots, it took a long time to put those on, and even ankle boots like Kephart liked to wear, they do take a little while. And if you've just got to get up in the middle of the night for a quick emergency bathroom break, these right here can be a lifesaver, as well as just so much more comfortable in camp. And for those of you who believe in grounding, this will definitely get the job done. The next item that we have in here is just a pair of rubber overshoes. And these are super important. Kephart did not like wearing big rubber boots because they sweat so much, they don't allow you to breathe. And these can simply be put on either using the moccasins as an inside, or you could put them on over your own boots. And that right there would keep you from getting your feet wet in a lot of like wet grass conditions and things like that, or if it was raining, and would help keep your footwear dry. So even though you might oil your footwear, put leather treatments on them and things like that, having a good pair of rubber overshoes was something that he recommended carrying. Now let's dig into our bag of clothes. And the first thing that you will notice is a very nice heavy spare wool shirt. And this is made by Logsdon & Company, and I'll make sure and put a link down in the description box below. This is period correct. It is the right type of heavy wool, and he preferred either a brown or dun color or a gray wool shirt, just because it tended to blend in more with the environment if you were hunting and things like that. So definitely a spare wool shirt. The next item he recommended would be a pair of heavy wool socks. And this would be spare socks. You could have lighter socks in the summer, but what we're more concerned about with is those cooler nights. So you can always rinse out a thin pair of socks and let them dry. But if you don't have warm feet at night, you're not going to sleep good. So a good thick pair of wool socks is important. And again, depending on the season, I mean, if it's the middle of July and it's 100 degrees outside in the daytime and 80 at night, you're really not going to need this. You would pack a lighter pair of socks. Next, we would have a wool knit cap. And this would be very important for a sleeping cap. Again, the same as your feet. Often they used to say in the old days that if your feet are cold, put a hat on your head. And this keeps you from losing heat. It's an extra hat to wear should your main cap get too wet. And then there's something inside here that is also super important. We have a head net. Now, although we've done a video on Kephart's bug dope, and I'll make sure and put a link to that in the video, a head net is super important. This is very important because you're perhaps tucked away in your bedroll at night, but the bugs can still get to your face, and even if you put bug dope on after 2 or 3 hours, it needs to be reapplied, and you're trying to sleep and all of that. So you need a bug net, and you need to make sure you get one that's big enough that it can go over top of your cap. You don't want something that's going to be just over top of your head where the bugs can get close to you. You want to keep them out away from you. So this is especially important when you're walking around in the daytime, if you get into low swampy areas and places up north especially where you have a lot of black flies as well as mosquitoes. So this needs to go completely over top of your cap. It needs to slip on fairly easy. So there's plenty of room. It needs to hang down low enough so that you can, if you wish, tuck it inside of your shirt. We have a couple of ties here, so just some strings, and there's a couple of knots to keep it from going back inside. So you can tighten this up around here, or you can just leave it loose, and that right there will help tremendously. Again, if you're out in the country and you really get into a lot of bugs, just keeping them away from your face. And this is super important at night, as I said, when you sleep. Also, Kephart said to make sure and get a black bug net for your head, because black is much easier to see through than white or green. The next item that he was very fond of carrying was a wool undershirt. And they come in either a sleeveless wool undershirt, like this one, or you can get them with the longer sleeves. Because this is in warmer weather, I went with the sleeveless wool. The nice thing about this is that while it is an undershirt, it could be worn on the outside if you should so choose. If you need just an extra quick layer, it is rather long, so it's good to stay tucked in. But this would be a fantastic choice just for layering up in cold weather. And of course, this is generally meant to be worn next to the skin. The next item that we have, go along with the wool top, is a pair of 100% wool underpants. So this is what they look like, and this is vintage. You can see here a little tag, but this is definitely something that they would have worn, and these are fairly light. These are not heavy duty wool pants. This is something that you would wear in just about all seasons, and actually Kephart did like to wear wool undergarments year round. The last two items that we have are some spare handkerchiefs. And again, you can get this one from Logsdon & Company, 100% cotton and period correct. And then another bandana and or a rag. You can use it for either one. This one has some stains on it. Again, picking up pots and using it around a campfire. It's going to get a little soiled here and there. It's got some rust on it, which is what that is. It's been washed, but can't get that rust out. Anyway, an extra bandana, very handy in case yours gets sweated or you need to do some sort of cleanup. And so here it is in no particular order. We have the suspenders, the shirt, wool shirt, of course, wool socks, head net, light camp shoes or moccasins, some rubber overshoes, a wool watch cap. We have our woolen underwear or underpants, our woolen undershirt, a pair of thin leather gloves, and a couple of extra handkerchiefs, and all fitting into our cotton bag here, except for the shoes and a couple of the items which we had stuffed over in here, as they're easier to get to that way. You don't have to take out the bag in case it starts to rain. And now for the bonus item. You all have seen the George tent, and we've got that in there. But Kephart also recommended having an oilcloth tarp or some sort of a rain jacket, so that in case you got out into the rain, you could easily cover yourself with this as an extra form of shelter and to keep you from getting wet. There were all sorts of options back in the day. You didn't have to wear something like this if you didn't want to. And he did recommend that if you're going to bring a rubber cape or poncho, he said that it needed to reach at least to the knees. You can see this definitely does that. Actually down clear to the leggings. So that works pretty good. And along with your hat, hopefully that will shed the water pretty well in just about any kind of wet weather. So here we are, all packed up, and we're ready to hit the trail. See you in the next video. This is James Bender for WayPoint Survival. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also make sure and check out the links in the description box below just under the More button. While you're down there, you'll find the link for our WayPoint Survival digital class. This is where you can sign up to train in the comfort and convenience of your own backyard the top 20 skills that we consider to be the most important from our Survival and Bushcraft Phase 1 class. You'll also find the waypointsurvival.com link, and this is where you can sign up to take in-person classes at our beautiful training facility here in Southern Ohio. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. And when you do subscribe, make sure and press that bell button so that you can stay notified of all of our upcoming videos, and we'll talk to you next time.